Welcome back to the Britespan campus. Tom Evans, been with Britespan for
going on 10 years.
Gosh, 10 years.
9 years, 9 months, I believe.
Yeah, so that's big majority of the company's existence. Started in 2010. So here we are 15 years into the business. As Britespan, we've got ownership that's been doing fabric buildings for 25, 30 years now.
Yeah.
But Britespan's been around for 15 years. You've been here for 10. And today, I know that your role has shifted a lot over that decade. What was the first job you had here? And tell me what it is, your title is, what you do today.
Wow, I got to think back 10 years. So first job was just a CAD designer. Came in and started doing structural drawings. Actually, originally, we call them ECTs.
Yep.
And wall cover termination.
Yeah, I remember.
Haven't done one of those for a very long time, but yeah, it was a small business at the time. Everybody knew Britespan in our area because it's local, and
right.
But I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Buildings are quite interesting, a lot more complicated than they first seem, and so in that time, started off doing small design tasks. Graduated to doing custom 3D modeling, designing any custom building that came in at the time, and that part of the business really grew over the last 10 years to where it's very commonplace to have custom buildings.
And that's driven by who, though? I mean, is that because are we doing a lot of custom things because we think it'll sell more, or are the clients asking for it?
Well, the client's asking for it. A lot of those things would be door openings on the side of, a portal. And then we're getting a lot of large buildings, giant buildings. So
I've seen.
Yes. So the bigger the building is, the more things are going on in the building, right?
Sure.
More doors, custom applications.
So you started out as a designer.
Yeah.
Year one. Do you remember how many different families of buildings, how many series there were back then? Was it just 2 or 3?
There was Atlas, the 3 sizes of Atlas that we predominantly sold. There was Epic, Genesis, and Easy Access, Apex.
Okay, so you had 3 or 4 when you started. Today, there's I think there's 11 series now, isn't there?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Like we've added on to with Triumph.
Yeah.
We added the Magnum series.
That's right.
That we worked on a few years ago,
That's
George.
Right.
And there's been a lot of improvements to some of the originals too.
Yeah.
Like basically new versions of older designs.
Right.
The Atlas series is still the way it was when I started, but much of the larger buildings have been looked at again. So.
Yeah. And so how long, over the 10 years, when did you get into, today you're research and development, right?
Yeah, we call it product development head. You can call it R&D as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of morphed into that. I mean, it always kind of was that, just it became more focused on new designs, improving, getting out of the day-to-day sales orders, creating drawings and custom designs for the client.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And it's really come into its own in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because you're doing new things and you're really trying to improve upon what we already do. Find a better way, fix challenges, and launch something better.
So I wanted you in this chair today to talk about the latest series that you just launched called the Triumph.
Yeah.
And that was not just an improvement on previous design. This seemed like it was a completely new agenda.
Absolutely.
So I want you to talk to me about where did that come from? Nobody likes throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. That's not a great way to do business.
Yep.
So tell me, what was the purpose? I mean, how did it even start? Did somebody come in and say, I can't use everything you make. You got to make me something different. Or was it an objective-driven project?
Yeah.
How did that start? What did that feel like? As far as getting concepts nailed down, and what was that process of working through to deliver a new product line?
Well, it really came down to the fact we weren't selling buildings in the 80-foot, 90-foot, 100-foot range.
Okay.
Sales had never been that great, and the question was why. So I really started off doing market research, dealer research, getting feedback, but also just looking at the numbers of, what does this building cost versus, what it should sell for. And
Sure.
we found a gap uh, where we just weren't meeting the mark, So that was really interesting to actually just step back, assess what does the market need.
So just
Yeah.
so I'm following you, you're saying that that gap of not terrific sales happened from here to here, but outside of that,
Yeah.
anything wider than 100, Britespan was wildly successful with. The Atlas series under
Yeah.
80 feet wide did great, but it was this window that we just seemed to have a lag.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pinpointed by the management that
Yeah.
we're not selling in this zone.
Yeah.
So,
And the demand from the marketplace was pretty heavy there.
yeah.
We just weren't successful in landing the same rate in that window of size
Yeah.
than bigger.
For
Okay,
sure.
got it.
Yeah.
So sales guy comes in, sits down at your desk, says, "Make me this." Is that how that happened?
Yeah, kind of more president of the company.
Yep. Okay.
But it got fed to him by one of our dealers, actually in Quebec. But that led to a conversation with him. What do you need? What are we selling? Like, first of all, what are you quoting? And finding out that what we're quoting is not meeting the mark.
Mhm.
It's a crossover range between our smaller buildings and our larger ones. It's in that, we'll just call it the no man's land, if
Yeah.
you want to say that. And was too many options.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I took away from it, is that, well, you could sell this, you could have that, you could this, but nothing was really pinpointing that market. So number one was the width of truss, the building. But number two, we found that market really wanted a monocover solution.
Tell me what that is. A lot of folks out
Yeah.
there don't know what that means.
So we have two types of building covers. The monocover is basically one large cover that's pulled over and tension to the trusses.
Yep.
It's the most efficient one to manufacture because it's just a large sheet of plastic.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably installs a whole lot faster when it's just
Absolutely.
one piece. Okay.
You just pull it over, you tension it down. The other style that we do is a ketered cover, which uses independent keters on each truss. So each panel of fabric is made per bay in the truss.
Got it.
So you have multiple panels. There's a tensioning system. It's a more complicated install.
Yep.
And we were trying to market that in that width of truss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously extra cost for install and manufacturing.
Got it.
And that was definitely putting us at a disadvantage to the competition.
Yeah.
So we focused on a model cover in that range of building to get the price point down and the install in particular. But that comes with a challenge because keter cover design is much more straightforward. You can have we'll call it a straight roof or gable roof,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll tension itself. But a fabric cover that's mono with a flat roof is going to flutter.
You can't just put a one-piece cover on any size, shape building, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because it'll fail.
It will fail prematurely.
Okay.
The wind will make it flutter. It'll come off the truss. The idea is to keep it tensioned all the way around the truss on the building.
Got it. So you had to come up with more than just the shape to make that work. Bay spacing also, is that unlimited or was there a limitation there?
There's a limit. Just from experience, we use 16 feet as a maximum for a monocover.
So you say from experience, that means that we've learned the hard way a few times?
I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Because you need to have tension end to end of the building as well. So,
okay.
So that was kind of the target, monocover 16-foot spacing.
Okay.
And designing a shape of truss that will keep the fabric tension.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of it is, what does the client want to buy? What look of building? So traditional barn shape is a gable roof, straight roofs come up in a peak.
Yep.
Great for keter cover. It does not work for monocover. So we started looking at how do we put a slight radius to the roof to keep the fabric tension. And we stumbled onto something. We're looking at barn shapes, traditional barn shape. Most barns in Ontario are gable style, but we found that there's something called a hip roof.
Yeah.
And in particular in Quebec, having driven through there once before, I noticed there was a lot of these barns. And dealing with a Quebec dealer, that was kind of clued me in. Would you sell this shape of building? And they like, yeah, I'd sell lots of those. So we designed basically. It was inspired by a hip roof barn, which is, I believe, 1920s is when they kind of came out. It was a kit you bought from Sears.
Hmm.
And it was made in sections because you could put it in a railway car and send it from wherever the factory was to wherever the person was,
Yeah.
and it would fit into a package. So we started with that shape, and we started exploring, a slight radius version of that,
Okay.
and then you start looking at all the engineering details of the truss to make it meet the loads. And we played with a lot of shapes, a lot of depths and sizes of material, and you just keep whittling it away until you had a eureka moment and
Yep.
found something that really worked well, and
Yeah.
then that's what end up being more or less the end design.
So what I'm hearing so far is that there a list of objectives began to develop.
Yeah,
If we're going to spend the time to design a new product line, it needs to hit this and this. And so what I'm hearing so far is the shape does matter. There's a lot of people that just don't like that round hoop-looking arch.
That's right.
So a gable shape, and a gable shape that would manage a one-piece cover, where we would have the same lifespan with that one-piece cover, that it would not fail.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of guys out there make gable-shaped buildings and try to put a one-piece cover, and my sales department gets the phone call every week. Hey, the cover failed in 5 years. Can you replace this? I can, but the way that's designed, the next one's going to fail again. So
Yeah.
you've solved for that.
Yeah.
And I'm also hearing price tag, right?
Yep.
That's always part of the
Yes,
solution.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
People get hung up on the price.
I guess. Yeah, I get it. But that's maybe where I want to go next. Is there's more to the price tag of a project than just the building package.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want you to talk about that a little bit. And I think there's two components. One is how much faster or longer does it take to install any given building? And what is that building sitting on? So talk about those two things when it came to the objectives that you designed for in this new Triumph series.
So there's three parts to a building. There's the building package that we produce at Britespan.
Yep.
Your structure, the steel parts, and the fabric cover. You also have the foundation that it sits on.
Yep.
What's the key part that everyone kind of misses when they think of a building? You don't see it, but that's really important. And then there's the installation of the building.
Yeah.
And that's a large cost. So the foundation design, like we tried to design the truss with a less kick out, less foundation reactions. This Triumph shape actually is very good for that. So there is some realized benefits in terms of the foundation cost.
Yeah.
That, it's not something that Britespan is building or providing the client,
Right.
but they are realizing that. So the other part of it is the installation.
Yeah.
And monocover solution, quicker to install than the Keter cover. But there's some other things that you won't see from the outside of the building, unless you're there when they're putting it up or you go inside. So one challenge that we had was reducing the cost of our building package and the installs. So we looked at less things you put together, the better.
I've heard that a few times, right?
Bet you have.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of install crews out there, and some of them will say this is a great building, but when my owner buys that brand of a building, I automatically add 20% labor to this project because the manufacturer makes me assemble everything in the field.
Yeah.
Why aren't you putting this and this on while you're there with your welder equipment? Stop making me bolt everything together.
For sure.
Yeah.
So on that note, George, there's number one thing that we did was reduce the section count. So the trusses are made in sections because of shipping and manufacturing ability. And so the design that we were marketing before had 9 sections plus independent base plates. So literally 11 major components that have to be assembled in the field and erected before you erect the building.
Yeah.
So we reduced that down to 6 from the 11. That's less components to manufacture, but more importantly, it's less bolts to put together in the field.
Okay.
So your assembly time for the truss is quite a bit reduced. Further to that, we adopted the same system we had previously come out with on Genesis 6 and 5 series, which is basically the theory of one bolt, one use, which means purlin, a cable, any bolt holes only used once.
Yeah.
So big savings in assembly time, because if you don't have to share bolts with parts, you don't have to think as much. You don't have to fiddle with it when you realize you miss
Yep.
putting something together. So we adopted that system. Purlins go on independent of each other. If you forget a part, you just go back, put it on. You don't have
Right.
to loosen a bolt. And we adopted the cables with the shackle connections. They have
Yep.
their own pinhole, where our older designs would share a bolt with the purlins. So that greatly reduces assembly time
Yeah.
and ease of assembly. Confusion, all that can come with a more complicated connection.
The drawings become simplified.
Yeah,
Install manual becomes more simple.
yeah,
I'll tell you, when you adopted that a couple of years ago, there was a standing ovation in the field from the installers who
yeah,
said, "Thank you, whoever came up with this. You just
yeah,
made our lives easier."
yeah,
Because, like you said, if you miss one thing or if you have an incorrect connection, I don't have to disassemble the entire frame
yeah.
to be able to put one component on. So
And it
well done.
standardizes the fasteners as well.
Yeah,
Same bolt
yeah,
everywhere instead of different lengths of bolts. And
sure.
you're right. The first one that went up, we had an email within one day saying it was the easiest building they'd ever put up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So shape, gable shape that people love.
yep,
It has a mono cover that has been married with a specific design for performance for 20 years of
yep,
performance
yep,
that drives the cost of the building package down. I
yep,
heard you say that focus was put on reducing the loads where the building connects to the
yep,
foundation so that the cost of the foundation can also go down.
yes,
That's a big bonus. That the reduction of parts and pieces, the SKU count went down, so the installs get faster, meaning
yep,
less expensive. I mean, even if the guys can spend 2 less days on a project,
absolutely.
that's got a real cost impact.
Yeah,
So you put all of these things together based off of filling a hole that we detected we weren't good at, 80
yeah.
feet wide. Did you guys launch just one width of a building then? Is that
No,
how big is the Triumph series? What does that include?
yeah. So the original target was 80 foot wide, but we soon realized that there was that 80 to 110 range
Okay.
that this really fit into. So we did release an 80, 90, 100, and 110 foot wide trusses,
Okay, so you got four widths to this Triumph
4 widths,
series.
yeah,
Got it.
and 2 leg heights to 10 and 14 foot.
Got it. Okay.
So you got 2 times 4, 8 versions.
8 versions of the Triumph.
Yeah,
So the leg height going from 10 to 14 feet, I can imagine that that's a big deal, right? I mean,
yeah,
an additional 4 feet of clearance on the inside of an 80 wide or 100 wide can
yes,
make or break the project.
yep,
I can't uh, I can't imagine how much it would cost to raise a wall another 4 feet high, a concrete wall. That would be very, very expensive. It
yeah.
has to be cheaper to just select the Triumph that has a 14-foot leg instead of a
It's always
10.
cheaper to have taller legs and
Yeah,
pour concrete
yeah,
all the
yeah,
way through. So
yeah.
yes, the commodity clear storage is what they want, the clearance height. So the 14-foot leg has actually been a good seller. Um, the building itself is not really any taller than our older designs,
Right.
but it does have better clearance inside and more space. The gable shape, the hip roof style, is providing a little more clearance inside than the round shape.
Right. Right.
Um, it's giving better snow shed capacity for the engineering.
Yep.
Um, and then, of course, the 14-foot leg is adding much more clearance for commodity storage, salt,
Okay.
sand. So, yeah.
So my last question for you then, specifically to that, is, and this is just from observing the entire industry that's out there, everyone that's in tension fabric structures.
Yeah.
Did you make this for Texas and South Carolina, where it's sunny, no
Yeah.
snow load? Did you build this only for Canada?
Yeah.
Tell me about that thought process for where I can use this building well geographically.
You can use it anywhere, George. Um, but to the point, we have a version of each size that's suited to high snow load or to wind loaded areas. So, long story short, Canada and the northern part of the U.S.
Yep.
is going to gravitate to a snow load situation, which is our heavier truss.
Okay.
We're calling it the B series, following suit with how we've done things in the past. But the A series suits the wind loaded areas, sunnier, no snow.
So you're saying you've got an 80-foot wide Triumph, 10 or 14-foot leg,
Yeah,
and you can do a lightweight version or a heavyweight version depending on your
absolutely.
snow and wind.
That's right.
That's fantastic. That's versatile.
Yeah,
Boy, the sales guys are going to love you for that.
I hope so.
Because, well, I'll tell you, um, fabric buildings have been around a long time.
Yeah,
In general, I mean, they've been in use and been manufactured for well over 50 years. They've been way back and early. It was industrial and it was on mine sites, it was on temporary locations
yeah,
out of necessity. And then 25, 30 years ago, the ag industry really caught on to fabric buildings because there's some pretty neat stuff that happens when you have cattle and livestock inside of fabric rather than metal roof.
yeah.
And that started ballooning it. And then all of a sudden, the commercial and even the municipal sectors started looking and saying,
Mm-hmm.
that's a great idea. That's a building that'll last 30, 40 years. And it installs faster and it costs less. And if I have to move it, I can move this thing, unlike a metal building.
Yeah,
Um, so what has that done is that started to stretch us out to almost every application that's out there. I'll give you some
yeah.
examples. 10 years ago, Britespan was not good at designing buildings for Florida with a high wind load.
Yeah,
That
for
was
sure.
tough for us. And
Yep.
we had to walk away from some projects because we needed to feel comfortable that we were going to be able to withstand those conditions. Sounds like you've killed that with this Triumph section, that the
Yeah,
Triumph can be loaded for high wind or snow, whichever is prevailing, right?
for sure. Yeah, we've always, in the last, I'd say 5 years or so, we're targeting Canada and US,
Yeah,
recognizing different loading situations, right?
sure.
For sure, in the early days, the business was more predominantly located in the Northeast and in Canada and Northern East states,
Yep,
where snow is a factor, but it definitely is not competitive in other regions.
right, right.
So that's something that we really clued into a few years ago, and going forward with everything, that's what we're focused on.
Amazing. You make me end walls for this. Can I enclose this whole thing?
Absolutely.
Just like all of our other buildings?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So, Triumph is the series name.
Yeah.
If anyone listening to this hasn't seen them, hasn't gotten a quote on one, they should probably call and find out because it's dramatic, the impact that you've
If they
created.
haven't called, they're missing out.
Yeah.
And they need to call
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Okay. So before I let you go, and I know you got a lot of stuff to do,
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with what you developed here. How long did it take you from day one until you opened it up to sales? How long of a process was that for the Triumph series?
Yeah, it was about 6 months for the release to dealers for the first model.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, we got it out in dealers' hands before we sold one,
Yep.
and there was lots of work to keep doing. It's probably an entire year of work, of focused work between engineering, myself, and my team to really launch a new product.
Yep.
But it was also the first time for Britespan to really thoroughly engineer every connection and every component in the building. we've grown as a company engineering wise,
Yep.
not just targeting markets and delivering the product the market needs, but also making sure that we can back it up with
Right.
calculations and evidence proof that when we sell something, we stand by it. And
Yeah.
we've got the data to prove that, which is becoming a bigger part of our market. We're getting more commercial clients,
Yep.
Municipalities, even states,
Yep.
Department of Transportation. They're becoming more demanding. They want to see the evidence that what we're putting up is going to last.
That's right.
Um, so we're responding to that, and our triumph is fully backed up.
Is there any chance that I can get you to leak to me right now what's next?
Oh boy.
Tell us what's coming, Tom.
Well, we're going to build on what we know and keep identifying markets that are demanding something better.
I hear it loud and clear.
Yeah.
That's a mind your own business until I release it.
You'll be pleasantly surprised, but let's just say we're focused on another area of growth in the company,
Yeah.
a market that's really taking off for us. We have some strong sales already occurring, but we realize that we're selling the old model. Like, it's time for the new car.
Sure.
Every company has to keep inventing. You got to be competitive, and the economy's slowed down in some ways in the sense of hard to get that sale, but that just making us work harder for it.
That's right.
And the market's there, and if we have the product that people want, it's a lot easier to sell it.
Tom, I'm motivated that I'm on the same team that you are. I'm so happy that you're in that chair for research development.
Yeah.
That's important to all of us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the effort you put into that. Congratulations on 10 years of exceptional work.
Thank you, George.
We're lucky to have you, and can't wait to see what comes in the next 15 years of our company. So thanks for spending time with me today.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
Always
thanks,
good to see you,
Tom.
George.
Have a great day.
Hope I'm back on the podcast soon.
You bet we'll have you back. Take care.
All right, see you.